Good afternoon. Welcome to the Blue Juju podcast, brought to you by myself, Jonas Macadocious, and Ron, the Freight Train Hodgen. How are you doing today, sir?
Spectacular.
Excellent, excellent. Weird weather we're having.
Yeah, I consider it rather strange. Way too warm. The people that are convinced of climate change or convinced of that, hey.
I was talking about it's damp.
Oh, it's damp?
It's damp outside, kind of muggy even. But
warm.
Nonetheless, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about the strange and obscene weird news that we find on the internet and deliver to you for your entertainment. This is the Blue Juju podcast. So, for those not familiar with the Blue Juju podcast, we have a website, and it's called bluejuju.com. You can go over there and watch our live chat about the strange and obscene things that we found on the internet this week. And sit back and, I don't know, enjoy a cup of coffee or something. But, anywho's, what we do is we like to break it up into categories. And our very first category is called headlines.
Headlines we deem important.
All right. Ron usually leads us off, so head on in there.
Yep. I've got a nice one for everybody. Responsible people and so forth. James Irvine, 41, of Palm Coast, Florida, was arrested because he was left alone to tend a 10-month-old child, and he decided that he would go out drinking.
As one does.
Of course. Leave the child at home, but everything was okay because he left it alone with his pet pit bull. Yeah.
Sounds safe to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Apparently, the child was found by his girlfriend in a room. The door was closed, and the pit bull was outside the door. The baby was crying. I don't know why. Probably been left alone for many hours.
Yeah, when you got to go to the bar, you got to go to the bar. That's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Pesky children can't get in the way.
Heck no. Just leave him alone with the pit bull. At least he closed the door. I think that was his saving grace. He it could have been much worse than that. I'm thinking.
See, they're not giving a lot of details here, and I like to look into this. I know Palm Coast is a somewhat of a small town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's only a few bars to choose from, and I know them all.
So you're gonna call out on that one, right?
Well, no, I'm wondering because there's this one bar they call it the European Village, right? And they actually have apartments in this little square, and the square is about I would say a quarter of an acre wide.
Okay.
And you got all these little shops that are down there, and people live above it. Now, if that was where he was at,
no problem.
It's still not a good idea, but really, he hasn't gone too far. But anything else, I would have to say, is obvious neglect. And, I mean, it's neglect either way you look at it, don't get me wrong. But, for some reason, that feels a little safer. But now, the pit bull being brought into the equation, I would have to say that then that just ups the danger right up again. But, family pets, you don't think about them that way, even though they're deadly animals.
Can be. Well, there's, I'm sure that my parents, when I was a child, left me alone for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I mean, it might have even 15 minutes, Hey, half an hour, maybe max, depending on my age. But, to go off and start carousing and consume alcoholic beverages, I don't think it's too good of an idea. I mean, even if it wasn't his child, that didn't say whether it was his child or not, probably his child, but...
Yeah, well, if it's not his child, then who cares?
Who cares?
I'm just kidding.
Right.
Let's see.
Children, dime a dozen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, especially not yours. You don't got to care about a child if it's not yours. Everybody knows that.
No responsibility issues. None whatsoever.
No, definitely not. Let's see here. I do have a story because I know all those people out there that have thought about this as I have. No longer do you have to wonder when Pizza Hut's going to come out with a Pizza Hut flavored or smelling perfume. Because apparently, because of a thread that was on the internet, people began to joke at the company, and ask it when it was going to release a fragrance that that smells of the pizza chain itself.
Pizza chain.
And Pizza Hut gladly obliged and has put out a fragrance that smells of Italian herb seasonings and baking of bread. So if you've ever wanted, I guess they're only going to produce 100 bottles of this, so it'll be a collector's item. But that's why I'm warning everybody early. You can go out there and see what's going on.
My question is this fragrance for women or men, or is this
It's got to be unisex. I would say
it's unisex.
Yeah.
It's metrosex or whatever the heck they call it, right?
But the moral of the story is, if you bug a company long enough on the internet, they'll do what you want.
Yes.
See.
Well, is it really? I mean, all you're going to attract here, I think cologne is to make you smell better, or perfumes smell better. All you're going to attract is hungry people. So, I mean, if you want to go out and walk through the streets and attract the homeless, maybe that's a good fragrance.
Who
there.
wouldn't?
Why not?
What are you talking
You
about?
just, like Piper.
People love it. Guess so.
Have a trail of homeless people
That's
following you to Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah. You play a crack pipe as you dance down the street.
with
Fiddling.
Right, with your scent of pizza.
That's right.
It's the new modern updated Piper, right?
Yeah, right. The crack pipe piper.
An urban legend
That's
whose
right.
time has come.
He led all the homeless into the sea, far away from the city where they could harm regular folk.
He led them to the land of giant pizzas.
That's right. There was a story. There was a story the other day. There was this guy from MIT. He started a foundation to give homeless jackets, basically. Yeah. And it sounded fine, but basically what it was is people that he pitted different college football teams against them.
Right.
So basically what you would do is you would buy your opponent. They're like, say you don't like FSU,
right?
So you would buy a FSU jacket for a homeless person, and then the homeless person would wear around a FSU jacket, making that team look bad.
Yeah.
See, but he got such a huge response for this. He was doing a positive,
right.
And people just started buying jackets, for these homeless people. But it was in a negative connotation because it was meant to slander the team that it was bought for. So in that light, he respectfully, within a day, I think they. Bought like something like 800 to 1,000 jackets for homeless people, but he took down the website saying, I didn't think this all the way through. I didn't realize the kind of negative connotations that was going to transpire this. I just thought, I found a way to serve a need, but
he didn't realize what an elitist asshole he was.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, okay.
So no way I do. But the homeless people don't care. See, it's really the homeless people that are getting hurt here. They're like, this jacket's awesome because I'm cold.
Well, that's true. That's true. And of course, if you were a smart homeless person, you just find yourself a razor blade and rip those patches off. And hey, what you do is you take it off and
you don't know the homeless. They might like that football team. Why mess it up? Perfectly good jacket.
Or they could resell it, right?
Yeah. But anyway, that was using the homeless to
advertise in a cruel, unusual manner.
That's right.
Right? Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course not.
as long as you're going to school and Daddy's paying for it, and
I don't think that's the case. This guy was pretty intelligent. He, like I said, he's at MIT. I don't know exactly his. I don't how to follow it, but he was a respected person at MIT. Let's put it that way. And he still is, apparently, because he wrote an apology letter and said
backpedaled like hell.
Didn't realize how that was going to go. But
Well, I'm just going to say that he may be intelligent in some ways. In some ways, he's a social moron. How's that?
I don't agree with you. We're moving on.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, you got to. Everybody does stupid things, but this was contrived. He thought about it long and hard before he ever did it. Couldn't he see the ramifications and it blowing up in his face? I don't.
It didn't blow up in his face. He respectfully pulled it down.
Oh.
He didn't have to do that. He could have kept it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just saying.
You're right. He's a winner.
Yeah. He didn't have to take it down. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. What else you got?
Oh yeah. Let me see here. I was too interested in that. You got me. You caught me.
Obviously.
Flat-footed. Here, let me try this one. Okay. Here we have the for those homeless people that are in jackets of other people's teams. We have the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission there. They've issued the 2013 Python Challenge. Right. And I guess they give you a license or grant you a license or allow you to go out and harvest Burmese pythons from the Everglades, as many as you want.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
And
How many times have I told you? I was like, when are we going to the Everglades?
and
Find me a python.
and harvest Burmese pythons.
Yeah.
Well, they have I think they have a $1,500 grand prize for the most pythons harvested, and they have other $1,000 prizes. So you can, if you're a good old boy and you got nothing else to do, you get your gun or however you dispatch the Burmese pythons.
Typically with your teeth. I think that's
Manly
the best,
men
that's the
use
best way
their
to do it.
bare hands and strangle the beast.
That's right.
But other than that, I mean, you harvest the maximum amount of pythons you can. Of course, you're not gonna wipe them out of the Everglades. They're there. This is going to be a yearly event, and maybe they can have they can have like the Python games. I'm thinking, this could turn into a social media event for the masses. Yeah, the Python Bowl or the Python Parade.
Yeah, I just don't see this going mainstream. That's the only problem. That's the only problem I have with it.
I see big possibilities here. Like.
I don't.
Python Queen.
I don't know of anybody that wants to go into the Everglades, and if they do, they probably already live there, so it's one of those things, it's a specialty group activity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't ever been in the Everglades.
It's a nasty place, man.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I haven't, actually been in it. I've driven through it, but it's not a place I'd like to walk around in. I'll tell you that.
Well, it was called the River of Grass, I think, or the Sea of Grass, something like that. And,
I guess so.
And back when there was a lot of water around.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like a savanna, so the pythons like it.
Well, that and the Nile
holes.
crocodile they have there now. That new epidemic that's out. That's this shoot on sight Nile crocodiles in the Everglades. Apparently, they're going to be, if they don't control it. They said they haven't found any breeding grounds yet, like active breeding grounds, but they found they found the Nile crocodile there, and these things get up to like 20. I think the largest one was like 29 foot was found.
Right.
And these things eat alligators.
You
know what I'm saying?
Maybe they should introduce giant anacondas to take on the Nile crocodiles. So they
and just throw some kudzu in there too, and then bada bing. Take care of all the problems.
I'm thinking like a battle royale between all the exotic species. You could have like who would win? They have that like a National Geographic. It's a Nile crocodile or the giant Amazon anaconda. Who would win?
Yeah, tough call. I don't know about that. But we are coming up on the end of the world, if you weren't aware.
Dang it.
Yeah. But
you mean
yeah, well, I mean December 21st, 2012. So I mean that's going to be the end. And I had to pull this little gem off the internet because apparently the Prime Minister of Australia released a press statement earlier, either today or yesterday, that confirms the end of the world. And I'll go ahead and play this little clip where you can hear it.
Okay.
The end of the world is almost upon us, if you didn't know, according to some interpretations of the Mayan calendar, and the governments across the globe are starting to respond. Russia's Minister of Emergency Situations had to calm down panicky citizens, telling them he was confident that the world is not going to end this month. I am too. Don't you worry about it. But Julia Gillard, the Prime Minister of Australia, could offer her constituents no such assurance.
There it goes.
Let's take a listen to her tongue-in-cheek address.
Fellow Australians, the end of the world is coming. It wasn't Y2K, it wasn't even the carbon price. It turns out that the Mayan calendar was true. While Australia's best and brightest at the CSIRO have not been able to confirm this, I'm confident in Triple J's prediction that the world is about to end. Whether the final blow comes from flesh-eating zombies, demonic hell beasts, or from the total triumph of K-pop. If you know one thing about me, it is this. I will always fight for you to the very end. And at least this means I won't have to do Q&A again.
Well, it's been really good knowing you, Alona.
I love that, though. Could you guys ever imagine one of our politicians doing an address like that? Or
That's hilarious. But nonetheless, there have been statements from other government agencies, from the U.S., also from Russia. They felt like they had to tackle this subject, and so the Prime Minister. Well, they were saying, though, obviously they're like, it's not gonna end. Stop freaking out.
Right.
But she wanted to go the other way with it and warn people about the hideous hill beasts. And obviously, it's tongue in cheek. It's it's a joke that she's making. But
I'm looking into the hideous hill beasts.
Yeah, hideous hill beasts. I think that was a good one. I was like,
is that maybe that's Australian short for hillbillies? I don't know.
Well, it's got to be. But the terminology is awesome.
Yeah.
They really know how to talk over there.
Yeah. Very entertaining and very satirical.
At
right?
least they're having fun. I mean,
That's right.
Not so serious over there in Australia.
Right. And those Aussies know how to live, I'm thinking.
Did you know that Australia was a prisoner colony when it started off to be a prisoner colony?
Yes.
Yeah, they got dumped off by the English there. They were just
the best and the brightest.
They just dropped all the prisoners off in Australia and said, "See you later, douchebags," and took off.
Georgia in the United States started out as a prison colony too. And it was someplace remote, and you could take your, the English prisoners there. And
well, the U.S. itself was started off as a well. The thing is, like, the Pilgrims came over, but what happened since they were already sending ships over to the U.S. Instead of sending them to Australia, since they were already going this way, they would just pack the prisoners, European prisoners, and then just send them over here. Which is, fine, I guess. Or it worked out just fine. But
there's a criminal in everybody's background. One of your ancestors was a freaking criminal. I guarantee it.
More than likely. That's why we're so successful over here in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's why we're leading the world in
criminality.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
We do it better.
Yeah. We just got a huge army. That's what we got. But
that's very true.
We have enough muscle to push people around. That's how it works. But moving on, we have covered our headlines for the day, and we like to do a little thing every week, and it's called Space News and Technology.
Yes. Space News
and Technology. All right. You want to lead us off in this department here?
Sure. There are many galaxies in the universe. Actually, we didn't know the end of the amount of galaxies in the universe. We don't know how big the universe is, but we can make observations about it. And one of the things that they found is that there are galaxies of different sizes, formations. There's galaxies that bump into other galaxies and are absorbed. Last week you had the the galaxy that was basically mostly big black hole. That was very unusual.
Yeah, like 17% or something like that. 18,
Yeah,
something like that. That's huge.
it was amazing. They have found the green bean galaxy.
All right.
Yes, it's shaped somewhat like a green bean, but what really sets it off is it's giving off, the entire galaxy is giving off green light. Some galaxies have different frequencies, but they said that they looked around and there are other galaxies that have the green color, but this one is particularly pronounced. This is astronomer Misha Shimmer of Gemini Observatory, and they've looked. It's an image from the Canadian France Hawaii telescope. It's a galaxy, and it's bright green.
All right.
So very unusual.
That is quite strange. Also, we have spoke about the Diamond Planet on
Yes.
Space News and Technology. That was one of my favorites. They have found a planet made entirely of diamonds.
Right.
And that means that there's still hope for the space turkey. And maybe the space turkey is in the green bean planet, and then I won't have to go any further for my side dishes.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. You got the diamond planet.
Then we just need a stuffing planet, and I am good.
You're ready.
Green bean turkey and
ready for the holidays.
stuffing. Mmm.
Space critter and other desserts, right?
That's right. Then you can have the cheesecake galaxy. We just shoot over there for some
Going.
some really good cheesecake. Space news.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is this is mainstream news, but I wanted to bring it up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Our pal Newt Gingrich. Is
Newt the Coot.
Newt the Coot. He obviously wanted to form a colony on the moon, and now he's getting his chance. So
He should go to the moon.
well, he is actually. Well, I don't know if he's actually going, but with him, he's a part of this company called the Golden Spike Company. It's backed by NASA, ex-NASA employees, and also has the thumbs up from NASA saying that they're a legitimate company. Right now, they're offering. This won't happen until they're saying probably around 2020. But they're putting things into effect as of right now. You will be able to buy a ticket to the moon for you and your partner for $1.4 billion round trip. So that's good. They said they'll get you back too. Who knows though? You don't really know. But let's see here. Yeah, they said everything's already in place. It's like all the NASA engineers basically said that, it's not like we have to start from scratch anymore. We have all the blueprints, and we have we actually have the things built, so we can do this. And they were, like I said, it'll be like a trip to Morocco, apparently.
Right. Well, in actuality, my space news, my second article was exactly the same as yours.
Oh.
But I'll just go into a little bit some of the things that I thought about when I was reading this article. For a mere $750 million, you can have a trip to the moon and back. Now, why would you want to go to the moon and back for $750 million? I mean, that's just a trip there and back. So I think that would be kind of boring, actually.
Yeah, but it's something nobody else gets to do.
So if you're a multi-billionaire and you want to put out
but the whole SpaceX thing is going off right now. They're really starting to pick up steam,
right.
And they're getting people ready to go to Mars. By 2020, they said they're gonna have people en route, to colonize Mars, and they have plans for terraforming and all that good stuff. So.
Well, in some ways, I used to be really into the space idea, and
no, you know what's going to be great about it though? The
What?
SpaceX thing.
What?
You know how they're getting funding?
selling T-shirts.
It's a reality show.
It's that's right.
Yeah,
And
so
T-shirts.
well, see, I mean, obviously people are not gonna die. So it's
It's thrilling, yeah.
Well, the thing is, But we already see that in Alaska shows. There's been a few people that they have this one show on TV now. It's called Surviving in Alaska, and fascinating. Well, yeah, there was one guy that died just recently, but also the dangerous catch or the deadliest catch. They have fishermen that die, several fishermen that have died.
Oh, well, see, they're up in the ante here, and the gladiatorial games are in full swing.
Well, not really, because those are people's jobs, and they're just having a camera on them. That's they're not anything going on there. They call it the deadliest catch because it's one of the deadliest jobs you can have.
Right.
But now as far as the moon or the Mars things go, obviously they can't get funding for it any other way. So this is the easiest way for them to do it. So.
Well, one of the things I would consider about the space industry, and let's just call it an industry because that's what it is. In my point of view, they went about space exploration in the wrong way. First of all, they created the shuttle, and why they created the shuttle, they still don't have a reason to back up why they created it, other than hey, we'll fly a plane into space. That's pretty cool, isn't it? They already had rockets. They already had systems already designed. But what they did is they spent billions and billions of dollars to design another system. Now they're scrapping that system and going back to their previous designs. So that makes total economic sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know there was reasons as far as like the space station being built. It was more economical to have a shuttle than a spacecraft. But now that that's far.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's I'm going to debate on that, but from my point of view, if it was that great of a design, why aren't they still using it? Why are they going back to basically previous designs? That's my point of view. I mean,
yeah. Well, they had to airlift cargo, and the other rockets aren't really built for that. They're built for human space flight. Passenger space flight, if you will. And then the cargo they have to bring up, it's easier doing a shuttle.
Okay, well,
but
you can.
I was just, that would be my basic observation.
Well, I'm not gonna get too far into it, but they've abandoned the design, and now they're going back to pretty much previous designs, I think, or designs that are somewhat different. I mean, I don't know.
All right. Well, nonetheless, like I said, we're going to be heading out into the great beyond very soon. But as far as, do you have another?
That's
fine. Okay.
I had the same one as you.
But I have a technology news.
Okay.
We got, it's called Super Wi-Fi. Apparently.
Super Wi-Fi.
Yes, I found this particularly fascinating. They call it white noise Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And it apparently works on the frequency between white noise and a kind of like what a TV set produces.
Uh-huh.
But it is able. Let me read an excerpt from this. Mm-hmm. It's hidden between individual television channels and is small but valuable collection of airways that will allow for a kind of super Wi-Fi network. The Federal Communications recently opened up the spectrum that sits between television channels numbered 1 through 51. Wireless communication in those white spaces have been permitted since January 26th. And apparently they are free to use for anyone at this point because none of them are,
used?
Well, yeah, basically. So anybody can use these. But they are superior to Wi-Fi in several different ways. They can pass through, it goes further distances quicker. It allows, instead of 3G, it allows quicker 4G networks. It also has the ability to penetrate thick walls and buildings.
And people.
Well, that's going on regardless. But I don't know, but apparently it's done a revolution. They're thinking that they're going to switch smartphones over to this kind of service because of the popularity of cell phones at this point in time, to ease up some of the tension on the other networks. And apparently that's going to be coming full swing here in a couple of years. So. Fascinating stuff.
Well,
Who knew?
who knew? There's all kinds of things you can do with wireless, right? And it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, well, right now it's free, so if we capitalize on it,
I
right
see.
now, we could be in there before anybody else is.
Yeah.
And whoever else is listening, which I think we're safe.
We're safe.
There's nobody listening.
Oh man, they're listening. You know they are.
Yeah. In a galaxy
I am.
far, far away.
Well, they're
On the We Watch Blue Juju podcast planet.
well. Hey, our stuff is watched. Sooner or later, people watch it. We have people that watch it on YouTube. It's not like it's not unwatched. It is.
Cast into the great beyond. But no, that's what I got for space news and technology.
Okay.
And I guess we'll be moving on to every week we like to do a little segment. We like to find the strangest state, what's going on in that state, and then claim that state to be strangest state in the union. And me and Ron go head to head with our stories to try to find a victor for the strangest state in the union. And
It's me. All the time.
And now, the strangest state in the Union.
Okay.
All right, Ron, fire away, sir. What do you got?
That's right. Here's the salvo that I'm coming off with. And it's Pennsylvania, and Florida's still out, right? We're not.
It's just too easy. So.
Yeah, it's too easy. Fish in a barrel, You could just sit there all day long and come up with Florida stuff. Okay, Donald Albritron, Albritton.
Well, that's strange enough. As
Yeah,
is.
I'm gonna call him Albitron because I like that.
I like that word too. That's a good one. Anyway, go ahead.
Donald Albitron stole his ex-wife's girlfriend ring and gave it to his wife. No, ex-girlfriend's ring and gave it to his wife. Yeah, there you go. So, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, somebody's telling us to stop. Stop that podcast.
Communication.
Yeah. No, continue, sir. Continue.
Well, I'm gonna say, well, first of all, he alerted his wife to the fact that he had an ex-girlfriend. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the ramifications. I don't know if he had the girlfriend while he had his wife, or it was before he met his wife, or whatever. But why do you steal your ex-girlfriend's ring and give it to your wife?
I don't know. Well, maybe he felt like he bought it. Or, I don't know.
Indian giver.
I guess so.
Well,
I don't know if he did buy it or not, but I'm assuming he did.
maybe he stole it and gave it to his ex-girlfriend and then stole it from her.
I let all
That's
my girlfriends right up front know. I'd be like, you're not the first person I slept with, and you're not gonna be the last.
I'm stealing your ring.
If I buy you anything, it's technically still mine.
Mine. Right.
I save receipts.
So don't get attached in any form or way, right?
And that's why I'm single. But you gotta lay it out right in the beginning.
Be honest.
That's right.
Right.
Just kidding. Don't treat people like that. They don't like it.
You sure?
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Okay.
But no, that's pretty good. I didn't swing for the fences this week either. I just kind of went with a story that I thought was strange, and this story comes from New York City.
Home of weird.
Yeah, the home of weird. Apparently, there's a New York City nanny, and she's been working for this couple for several years, and it's not uncommon for a nanny to be considered part of the family.
Right.
Eventually.
Right.
Well, this nanny, she makes about $100,000 a year working as a nanny, but she gives up her life basically.
Right. She's.
And speaking from the words of the nanny, she says that a lot of times the people you work for think that they own you. And they treat you as such, But that some of it does come along with the job.
Territory,
You got to take care of them. You got to do this. Got to do that. Whatever. That's what you're hired for.
Right.
But she said that her employer took it a little bit too far.
Just a little, huh?
Yeah. So the English nanny is 25 years old. But apparently the lady that she's working for, she was having trouble having children.
Oh.
And so she
Uh-oh.
proposed to her nanny that basically told her, to carry her child, and she would for that she was going to
Receive.
receive $30,000 bonus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not much, really.
Well, yeah, but basically what the lady wanted her to do was have her own child and then take care of it. Which, if you wanted to have a child, I guess that would be a pretty good deal.
I'm not going to go into the mind of the woman that might have this child. I
Well,
understand.
she wanted her eggs. The lady was going to have the baby, but it was going to be the nanny's kid. You know what I'm saying? It would actually be the nanny's
egg implant.
Yeah, well, it'd be the nanny's egg, but the lady wanted to give birth to that child and then have the nanny take care of it. I really don't see a huge problem here, but the nanny did, and the nanny.
Oh, that's a problem.
Well, the nanny says, after years of service, she said this was just a little bit too far. She wasn't going to have someone else have her kid and then her raise her kid, but it be somebody else's. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's a weird kind of situation you put yourself into. It was given birth from her,
right?
From her
egg.
From her egg, but not from her body. But then she was going to take care of someone else's kid that was actually hers. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
I'm gonna say you win on that. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'm conceding. That's too weird.
But the lady, the nanny, she was like, she quit her post. And has recently found another job being a nanny in New York. Apparently, New York is very, it's
popular, right?
in need of nannies. They say some nannies typically make $180,000 a year.
They have nanny needs, yeah,
and allowance to pay rent.
Oh well, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good gig. I'm thinking about being a nanny. I don't know about you.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't think it's gonna work.
Hey, I'm trustworthy. Might not be a good influence on your child, but
have a cigar, kid. Yeah,
kids tend to like me. I don't know why. It's a thing. And call it a curse.
I'm good with children. They respect me.
Look at this face.
Yeah, honest.
All right, come on now.
So did this woman actually go through with this?
No.
She just quit.
She quit. She said that that was far. That was far.
The straw,
that was
right?
far enough. I'm sorry, but you've overstepped your employee relationship here. And she went on and found another job. But I like I said, I found that quite strange, and because it doesn't sound strange on the surface until you really get into it,
Bizarre.
Yeah, really strange. But that is our strangest state in the union, and we can have you vote if you head over to bluejuju.com. There is a message board over there that you can type your answers into, chat with us live, if there's anybody out there listening to us at this point. But that's how you can get in contact with us. And we'll just go on from there. But moving along, we have let's see here. The next is going to be Conspiracy Corner, I do believe, right?
That's close enough.
All right. So Conspiracy Corner, we like to find a good old conspiracy and have a chit chat about it.
That's right.
We do have a mascot for Conspiracy Corner, and that is Hitler Baby.
What a cutie.
Yeah, Hitler Baby. Mascot right there.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew he could be so cute?
Just interesting fact about Hitler before we go into the conspiracy. His mother, Hitler's mother, was...
sorry. My bad.
Oh. Hitler's mother was considering an abortion, but the doctor convinced her not to have one. So, just think what the world would have been like without Hitler.
Is that Hitler Baby?
Without Hitler Baby, we would have another baby. We might have like Stalin Baby or Mao Baby. Or Bush Baby.
Horrible. For some reason I'm having technical difficulties trying to...
Come up with Hitler?
No, trying to get our faces back on here.
Oh.
Let's see here.
We're anonymous. That's okay.
We're not technically anonymous. We can get it.
Well,
going.
as long as we got audio, I don't care.
No, we got video too. I just don't know why it's doing this. Here we go.
Okay, the switcher wasn't working.
No, the switcher's working. I just trying to get my background. There's that.
Okay.
And off. Turn that off. Then you continue while I'm
Continue
futzing.
on.
Yeah.
Continue on. Okay. Well, I was looking around for conspiracies. Of course, there's no lack of conspiracies.
No, no.
It's just like weirdest state in the union. There's no lack of contenders for conspiracy because there is so much out there that is not on the 6 o'clock news.
Boggles the mind.
Boggles the mind, and they barely touch it, or if they do, they gloss it over, or miss important points, or they don't even cover it at all. This has been going on for a long time, probably as long as man's been around. Crop circles.
Ah, yes.
Right, and these geometric formations are found in on every continent, in every type of field. You know, I'm sure they're found in wild grass, if you wanted to get down to it, and savannas and so forth like that. But they're called crop circles because they're obviously mostly found in crops.
I'm pretty sure people are pretty familiar with what crop circles are, but go ahead.
Yeah, probably. They've been around. But the one of the things that is not too greatly talked about is that crop circles are basically when they're formed, there's two camps that say that they're formed almost instantly, and there's another that say they're formed by extraterrestrials and UFOs. I don't know who's right. I've seen pictures, videos of crop circle being formed. I don't know. You can do anything with video. But one thing is indisputable, and that is that
They're there?
they're there. They're there, and that the plants themselves are actually genetically different from the surrounding plants that are not part of the crop circle.
Yeah, there's some thought on this matter that say it could be an electromagnetic pulse that cause these things, and they just the rabbit hole gets really deep with these things. I mean, they can.
Right. To expound on what you're saying there, there's a Dr. Levengood, he states, quote, "The affected plants have components which suggest the involvement of rapid air movement, ionization, electric fields, and transient high temperatures combined with an oxidizing atmosphere."
Yeah, that's it.
That's
what I
it.
was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, and see, but people even get crazier about these things too. They say, well, maybe it's someone from the past or the future that's trying to contact us through pictures, right? But
Send us an email.
right, but they're obviously, they're like, but then you're like, who's sending them, and then it gets deep, and then there's some that have the some really elaborate formations. There's some that are really similar, really simple, and then, like I said, no one really knows what the hell's going on. But there's also some there are some that have been busted, some hoaxsters. But then there's also other people. Other crop circles that have popped up that couldn't be done in that way.
Right.
In that way, so
Well, if anybody that wants to look, they can just go to YouTube or Google Images. They can find images of crop circles. That these things are fantastically complex, some of them, and some of them are really, really big. And to say that two guys that drink a lot of beer in Ireland.
Yeah, I think the guys that stepped out, they showed you how it could be done.
Right.
In a night, and what kind of tools could be used. Really simple tools. It was like a board and a rope, and but these two guys, I think they were both like 67. They were both 1 foot in the grave, the other on banana peel. But it's it's hard to have two old guys like that explain all all the crop circles that
And,
popped
and
up.
funny, they just can't come up with the genetic differences. And their crop circles don't look anything like, yeah, they can do spirals and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
none of these things that are of any complexity, they can't get out there with boards and strings and do it. So, it's the jury's out as to what actually causes these, and whether it's extra dimensional or extraterrestrial creatures.
Yeah.
And
Why gotta be so secretive? That's all I'm saying. We're big boys. We can handle the truth. Yeah.
I think they heard your comments about the space turkeys, and
More likely. Well, I mean, if they're space turkeys, yes, they have something to worry about.
they're hiding the space turkeys.
Well, well, if they're space turkeys, they shouldn't be contacting us anyway.
That's right.
In any form, because I'll find you. I love turkey.
Tasty space turkey beings are creating crop circles.
You can hide nowhere
and
in the
hiding.
universe.
And the hiding.
Slip up just once.
And you're a meal.
That's right.
For Hungry Joe and family.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the delicious turkey you ever had.
That's
But
it.
I have a conspiracy corner.
All right, cool.
Time travel for
Ah.
the everyday man.
It exists.
Yeah, well, let's see. This is a conspiracy, and it was built on I believe it's called the Montauk Project.
Montauk?
Montauk.
Oh, yeah.
It's yet another secret government conspiracy. This centers around the Brookhaven National Laboratory on Long Island, New York. It is said that numerous people were abducted and experimented on, and there's some people that claim that government scientists were experimenting on mind control at the time, and they got to a point where they could push a button and make a person schizophrenic with the push of a button. But it didn't stop there, however.
Right.
Other reports claim that the center was organized to enhance the psychic abilities and
Yeah.
psychic phenomenon. One graduate from the program claims that his inherent ESP was enhanced, and the cost was numerous and psychological disorders later on in life. But that is not where our story ends. Most intriguingly, the Montauk Project was said to have unlocked a time tunnel through which scientists could travel anywhere through time and space. So they've already done this, and things got out of hand. However, this is where it goes wrong.
Right.
When an alien monster traveled through the time tunnel and devoured the researchers and equipment alike, what became of the time tunnel?
Nobody knows.
Maybe, and the monster that spawned? After after that, it's unknown. Perhaps one was devoured by the other.
That's true. Maybe the time tunnel ate the monster, or vice versa.
That's right. I mean, you gotta hate those pesky time traveling monsters that like to eat equipment and scientists.
Right.
Those are tough.
Monsters from the id.
Yeah. Oh, got me again. You tricky time traveling bastard. But
Well-
that's what that's the conspiracy, and apparently, the government's trying its hardest to keep that under wraps.
Yeah. Well, that would some ways fit in with the multiverse theory. In some
I saw that movie.
multiverse theory. Yes.
No, it's not the what is it?
The Philadelphia experiment.
No, it's Vin Diesel in it. It's
one of those.
yeah, well, you know what it is. It's your favorite movie of all time.
Oh, the Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, that's it. The multiverse. That's where all the evil people are trying to get to.
The Underverse.
The Underverse. That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. See?
Yeah.
Pop culture turns its evil head to shine light on the multiverse theory.
Yeah. Well, it's a possibility. I mean, people don't want to think about it, but it's there are claims that is possible. I think it's probably since been abandoned. Some technologies are just like a can of worms. You open them up and you wish you could put them back in the bottle. Like,
Yeah, there was actually one story that coincides with that technology that should not be unleashed. It's apparently they have a well, it's been out for a while, but it's called a 3D printer. But now you have the capabilities of printing out dildos for yourself or your partner.
Yeah.
It was on the Huffington Post, but it was a pickle. Like they just showed a pickle, and they were like, "You can print 3D dildos on your printer. You know, never have to leave the sanctity of your house and all the dildos you want."
Yeah, I've heard of.
That's a technology that should not be unleashed, sir.
could
No
destroy-
one needs that.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're interested in stuff like that, you should Google like Santa Claus machines. Yeah, 3D printers are a reality, and recently they closed down somebody that was going to 3D print a gun.
Yeah.
And so these things are real. I'm sure that it's made out of plastic, but that's just for the time being. I'm thinking that there's probably more technologies out there that, you know, sooner or later it'll get into metals, and that's when it gets really interesting.
Yeah. But thinking about having to, all right.
I don't want to think about
it. Now you don't have to be ashamed when you go out and you buy the huge dildo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that you go on the store, you slap the biggest dildo you got on the counter, and you're like, ring that up for me. And obviously the store clerk looks at you and says, "Wow, that's a mighty big dildo." and so that would deter most people from going into a shop and purchasing said thing. Now, from the luxury of your very own home, you can print out the largest dildo you possibly can think of. And see, now that is going to destroy humanity.
That's right. I'm thinking that they should like save the sex shops and outlaw the home printing of dildos.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
the home dildo law. No home printing dildo.
Well, they should. They should definitely put a sanction on it. You know?
Yeah, a tax.
That's right. Like, because people can't be trusted. We've already.
Not with this technology.
No. There's been several occasions. I think there's even a TV show about it. It's like basically they call it like an ER, you know, emergency. Well, it's like it's a ER show, and basically the whole thing is what they show X-rays of people, the weird stuff people have crammed up their ass, you know. And obviously
we talk about it here. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we get it here first. But what they did, like, there's people that obviously put a light bulb up there. And then you know, it's tough to get a light bulb out of there, you know, for one, to get it in there. I mean, I don't know how the fuck you do that shit, but nonetheless.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, but now they have a problem, you know, of getting it out without killing someone, and you know, but these are things that go through people's minds, and it's been documented. So, like I said, if you can make the biggest dildo you want,
it's not going to be big enough.
It's not going to be good. That's all I'm saying. Many reported deaths.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna write a letter.
I can go in many directions in this story, but probably most of it's down.
Or it could be used as a war machine, you know, to demolish civilization in enemy territory. You know, we dump off these dildo making machines, and then.
And that's the only program.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. It just destroys society from the inside, literally.
This is conspiracy.
That's right. We just made one up. But I guess we're moving on.
Okay.
All right. We've probably dwelled on that long enough. But just letting you know the dangers out there, folks. We're here for you.
Be careful.
That's right. Time traveling monsters and dildos. You know, they don't mix. Anyway. We do a little segment where we give you a question to think about, ponder, if you will, and get back to us on the next one, on the next podcast, and we call it speculative or apodictic. Is it
speculative
or
apodictic?
Okay, on
fire away, sir.
Mm-hmm. On last week's speculative or apodictic, we asked the question, it's better to vent anger than it is to control it. And that is false, because what happens is it leads into a pattern. It may feel good or release some tensions in yourself for a short period of time, but socially it can destroy you or your social interactions. And so it is now considered better to control your anger, and because it leads into patterns that are not good. All right.
Such in life, I believe. In the whole life journey,
Right.
you learn how to control yourself. That's or hopefully some people don't. Some people just go out their whole lives thinking, I'm the cat's ass, and whatever I do is the most important thing.
Right.
And but the trick to life is learning how to control
And
yourself.
interact, right.
Control yourself.
Right.
know what this body's doing that you're in and operating. But what do we have for our new speculative or apodictic?
Okay. All right. Here's one that's going to be easy for you. According to the internet, and the internet can't be wrong.
No,
So,
it's our bread
I mean,
and butter.
So if you if you find out later that this is true or this is false, and you can prove it, don't get on to me. It's former President Bill Clinton only sent 2 emails in his entire 8-year presidency.
Interesting.
I mean, true or false?
All right. Well,
I mean, you're on the edge of the seat here,
Yeah.
I
But
mean, you got to know this.
but to find out, you have to tune in next time on Blue Juju Podcast, where we will give you the answer to said question.
That's the hook and lure.
That's right. See what we did there?
Yeah,
But,
throwing out the big bait.
That's right. But as always, we are coming up on the hour, and we have about.
We did good.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3 minutes.
Hey, well, we can BS for 3 minutes. I know that for sure. I mean,
Sure.
I can keep my trap going. So, how's the animation come along? Doing some good stuff. I've seen it. Oh yeah, we're gonna have an animation come out pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
well, it's
couple weeks.
Ron wants to produce an animation. I'm gonna animate it. He's gonna do the research and figure out what we're doing, and I'm gonna make it come to life. So
This could be the one.
that's right.
It's the ticket.
So look out for that.
Yeah.
We'll be posting it on our YouTube page, Dwight and Hoyle. If you
Right.
don't know, you better call somebody.
Yeah. You can
Because they'll
watch.
tell you. They'll tell you where it's at.
That's right.
But also, you can get in contact us with us through the Twitter page we've set up. It's BlueJuju_cast, and we are always available for comment there. We can also be emailed at dwightandhoyle@gmail.com. Let's see here.
We got a T-shirt and a
We
couple
do.
Products there.
We,
Product
well,
reviews.
on the website, if you were so inclined to buy a T-shirt, we have them, just in case.
And
but-
sooner or later, you'll wish you did.
Yeah, maybe.
If you don't have one, you're gonna be, left out.
That's right. No one likes
To
people.
be left out.
Yeah, no one likes to be left out. So don't be a loser.
Yeah.
But-
Very true.
That's right. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and call it a day.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're good.
All right. Well, as always, on behalf of Blue Juju Podcast, my name is Jonas,
Ron.
and you have a good week.